The next item you will find in your box is J.P. Graziano's homemade giardiniera. Giardiniera is an Italian relish of pickled vegetables in vinegar or oil. It is a very versatile condiment that can be used on a variety of different foods, such as bratwurst, bruschetta, burgers, and pasta salad, so it's definitely a pantry staple. In Chicago cuisine, giardiniera is popularly used as a topping on Italian beef sandwiches and even deep dish pizza. The recipe at J.P. Graziano's has been the same since the 1950s. All of the peppers are hand-cut and hand-packed to provide the freshest quality product on the market. Now, the history of the J.P. Graziano Grocery Company began with a young Sicilian man from the seaside town of Bavaria named Vincenzo Graziano. In the early 1900s, Vincenzo left his town and set out for America as a stowaway in order to pursue the girl he had fallen in love with. One day, during the journey, after leaving his hiding spot in the engine room, Vincenzo unexpectedly met one of his uncles who was bound for New York. His uncle told him that the girl he desired was already engaged, and it was at this moment that Vincenzo decided to follow his uncle back to New York and assist him when he opened his butcher shop. After the untimely death of his uncle, Vincenzo moved to Chicago. He strongly identified with his place of birth, and after receiving word that many of his fellow villagers were settling into Chicago's north side, he decided to make the move as well. Vincenzo's arrival in Chicago coincided with what was called the Golden Age of the Street, when numerous street vendors and peddlers stationed themselves along the busiest streets throughout the city. Vincenzo, with nothing left in his pockets, experienced real hardship during his early days in Chicago. He survived by lifting pieces of fruit from these street vendors and would then go around the corner to sell them himself. He was quick enough to not get caught and smart enough to save up to buy his own basket. Eventually, Vincenzo became a legitimate street vendor. Before long, he traded in his basket for a fruit cart, and from there, he bought a horse and wagon and began traveling through neighborhoods selling produce. It's safe to say that Vincenzo figured out the best routes to follow because he opened his first brick-and-mortar grocery store in 1922. In 1927, Vincenzo started J.P. Graziano Grocery Company on West Randolph Street, where it currently resides. Now it's in its fourth generation of family ownership, and the focus was turned into becoming a sandwich shop back in 2006. The sandwich shops kept gaining momentum every passing year, and the neighborhood, now known as the Fulton Market District, has received national attention for its development.